and let's continue where we left off. What is this incredibly overpowering sweet scent? It smells like flowers. Sweet scent. Sweet scent. Sweet scent. I kinda heard there was something that have a scent that is sweet. Uncle Ben, is this it? Hmm? Isn't that Detective Beth and Kay over there? It looks like she managed to escape the belly. No, that's not quite it. Oh, too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. But since you found it, I guess I can let you keep it. Thanks, I'll treasure it, always. Just see two seem to get along rather well. Oh, here, I've got something else for you. Yay, thank you, Uncle Bet. Earlier, I ate one of these with Gummy. Gummy? Oh, you mean Gumshoe. Gummy is... He was trying to be... She's eating while crying. He was trying to be nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And that he got in trouble because he lied to protect me. Gummy. I know he didn't kill Daddy. Don't cry. Faraday will be sad if he saw you cry. I'm not crying. Okay. Oh, it's the mister from before and the lady too. Don't you think it will be a good idea to go home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's for the best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bet's assistant, so I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bet? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just holding us like a kid to not mess up the crime scene, and now you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside of the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you wanted to look into. Got a problem with that? I don't have a problem with that, but I'm curious as to what Miss Yu is looking into. Uncle Bet, I'm gonna go look somewhere else now, okay? Alright, I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister. What is it? I know Gummy really isn't a bad guy. I mean it. So, please, find the real bad guy, okay? I won't forgive whoever did this, but in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence, there's no one else who could be the true culprit other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Maybe you took too long. What about this plant, Nature? These decorative plant leaves are shinier than the ones on the plant in lobby number 2. That's probably because it's next to the window where it's easier to photosynthesize. You may be right. Plus, the curtains are always drawn in lobby number 2. The caretaker of this courthouse don't think enough about the plants, do they? That's because they're the courthouse caretakers, not a bunch of botanists. One of the windows in this lobby is open as well. The air conditioner is working just fine in this room. So what did they open, I wonder? Oh. I guess the killer used this window. So the true culprit must be in this lobby number 2. What an incredibly strong scented herbal. I fear that more than being relaxing, this scent may take one bit heady instead. You put in a special request for that. No wonder she's so violent, because she's been drinking this stuff the whole time. Neither woman should be allowed to comment on this particular topic, ever. Okay. It may not look like much, but I found that ordinary tables like this one are very useful. I think it's time they bought a new one. I wonder if they will replace this table if I hit it enough with my whip. A much too heavy-handed method if I ever saw one. This television is the same model as the one in the defendant lobby number 2. Looks like the two rooms are basically the same in terms of layout and supplies. Yes. The two rooms are basically the same, huh? Almost, I guess. Okay, let's talk to you. Wait a minute. I can see down into the courthouse courtyard from here. What is that mess supposed to be? It's like an optical illusion. I believe it's supposed to be postmodern in design. More like toplessness in design. I can disagree there. Detective Beth, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay. It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyway, hurry up and get to the point. I don't have time to waste. It sounds like you're ready to be left alone. I have something I'd like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Now then, first of all, what is the overpowering smell that is permeating this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra strong perfume you wear. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. I didn't think twice and opened the window, but that smell's still here. Perfume, huh? I guess this means that the lawyer is really the culprit. So the sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, it's giving off quite a stench. I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced one of those bottles on me. Here, little girl, you can have it. Was born for a much more expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing as how you just happen to have spare, I suppose I'll take it. Malsetcher, we'll hold on to this bottle without fail. Why can't she ever be honest about her wants? So now we have the perfume viewers. Just fantastic. Oh, we can inspect it. Alright. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, I'm going back to investigating. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. I thought it was his pain during the recess. So you were in this room the entire recess? Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get a big lockdown here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier you stated that you were in this lobby with Miss Yu. Yeah, I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came in here. Then what you're saying is that until Detective Gumshoe's arrival, you and Miss Yu were in two different locations? Guess I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seemed to have a great dislike for you. Oof. Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KG Egg incident, and as I recall, Detective Beth was the lead detective on the case. I wonder if the reason for her disdain isn't simply because you felt to get sissy, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You knew? I also knew that today's trial involving the Cordepian Embassy staff member is being referred to as the second KG Egg incident. Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and told me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday, and the KG8 incident. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Okay. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. It's not exactly a happy story, other than the people who were directly involved. You two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. Oh my god. I was about to get serious, and he popped out his candy out of his mouth. I thought it was a cigarette. Alright. Down the street behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you and I. As you already know, we three were involved with the KG8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of a smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving one of the Amanos Group's secretaries? That trial was just a fraud. A facade? Yeah, but the case became tainted, all because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano Group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. Then what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Devore. Wait a minute. Does you really care about her sister? Is killing the guy who wanted to capture the smuggler, the one who killed her sister? I guess we will know next time. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyway. Devore was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just another scapegoat. The boss man of the Amano Group? He can seriously mean Mr. Ernest Amano? That can't be right. It's probably just Detective Bet's personal hypothesis. What is he trying to do? Suspecting Mr. Amano being involved with smuggling? I suppose it would have been quite difficult to secure an acquittal after he confessed. But the man who killed CCU, Manny Kochen, was a completely different person. But since he's already been acquitted once of her murder, Mr. Faraday, how could you have let him go? If I remember correctly, I heard that Mr. Faraday had an important piece of evidence stolen from me. That wasn't Faraday's fault. It was mine. I wasn't vigilant enough. Faraday, Sissy, I was supposed to protect them both. Miss Judith mentioned that as well, about how Detective Beth was supposed to guard her sister. But even I was supposed to protect them. I fell into their trap. What kind of trap? The holes in this jacket are testament to that trap. Huh? Gunshot? You mean you're fired upon? You were shot that many times in one gunfight? No. Huh? Only about half of these are from that case. But the reason I continue to wear this jacket is to remind myself of the lesson I learned from the KG8 incident. I see. I couldn't protect CCU, and the suspect was found not guilty. We had hit a brick wall as far as the law was concerned. And that's when she came to the courtroom, the victim's sister. That's when I first met Callisto Yu. About when you first met Miss Yu. It was on the day of the verdict of the KG8 incident was handed down, was it not? Yes, Faraday and I. We apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do, but just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop it just a slap. If it was me, not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. If it was you, who was supposed to be the victim then? Edgeworth? Your brother? You said it herself, that she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah, Faraday and I, even after the KG8 incident had come to a close, we continue to hunt down the smuggling ring and get involved in a variety of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases, but the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. Is the ring really that big? It was in the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor, and I, as the lead detective, took to the witness stand. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Yeah. Yu was pursuing the ring as best as she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Rel this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. I have my own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for leads regarding to the KGX incident, alright? And for that, we have not a single qualm about defending a known killer. Don't put words in my mouth, I said no such thing. The only way I had to get close to Mr. Rel was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of covering for him, ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of a friend Karma? Just like us, you felt that she had hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it, only the skill of the craftsman. You two are still too young, but one day, you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we meet you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So what was your relation to Mr. Faraday? He even seemed to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor, known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Does Kamshu gonna grow up to become like Beth? If so, that's kinda cool but sad also. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Yatagarasu case. Did we touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Yatagarasu than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial to prove that Rel was not the real Yatagarasu, which I would have done if he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disprove the accusation, but I guess I won't be doing that either. I sense that there's more to the statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Yatagarasu is what's necessary. You claim to know much about the Yatagarasu. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of murder's intent towards Faraday and Rel. I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Yatagarasu. What? The KGX incident and the second KGX incident. Both of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there's one point in which they differ, and that is the presence of absence of the curative Yatagarasu. Mr. Rel claimed to be the Yatagarasu. However, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yatagarasu. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be this bit odd? Malsachers, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already. I believe that there must be some reason to that. The two men suspected of being the Yatagarasu were both killed at the same time. A reason? Huh. And so, in order to catch Mr. Faraday's and Mr. Rel's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yatagarasu. If it will help you solve this case. Then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we've never caught the Yatagarasu. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. It still accidentally whipped me anyway. There are three main reasons why the Yatagarasu will always be the one step ahead. First, the Yatagarasu always knows the exact location of target object. Second, the Yatagarasu always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yatagarasu doesn't leave a single shred of evidence behind, ever. I see. So those are the Yatagarasu's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. The Yatagarasu has never been caught on tape, never tries to draw anyone's attention, and will never do something as lowbrow as to commit murder. That's how I knew that Rel wasn't the real Yatagarasu right away. That means there's a fake Yatagarasu, I guess. But you can use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. And maybe Bet already knew that Faraday was the real Yatagarasu. That seems interesting. Listen, little girl, I'm not done talking yet. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cordopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. Yeah, he always sent it to the people. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and a select few others knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yatagarasu who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only the Yatagarasu uses was attached. That's how I can be so sure. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yatagarasu want to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white card, Rel had no idea what it was. And that's how Detective Bet knew that Mr. Rel was a phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yatagarasu. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth. Yes? His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from the trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it'd be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bet, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to the question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. September. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. It appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand at the witness stand. I now have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all distressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, I wouldn't expect you to think about anything other than the verdict. Francisca, there's no need to further depress His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Huh? Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence... Your Honor! Oh! You! Yes, can I help you? I like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor, do you think you can stay focused long enough to at least do your job? Yes, I'm sorry. And I will accept the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She is busy with the investigation. So let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm that all the pieces of evidence are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used in the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel are also included, so please go ahead and use them in your investigation into their case. Understood, Your Honor. The pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of these two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find new leads regarding their case, and maybe even something that will finally lead to me to the truth. I've placed all of the evidence over at the prosecutor bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I will go and confirm that they are all accounted for. I'm gonna take this. Take this. Come on. Evidence that Monsieur Pervert is just sitting here on this table. You know you can just walk off with it, right? Of course I do. Monsieur must have been caught off guard by her client's sudden accusation. I wonder how she would have defended Mr. L in that case if he was still alive. I want to take it. I can. So this is the evidence related to the Scordopian embassy trial from Mr. Faraday's bed. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table in lobby number 2, alright? Yes, finally we can now take a look at the evidence itself, and not just the data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. I agree. I want to take a good look at all of the evidence from the embassy murder too. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what this trial was about. God. Don't point your crap at me just because you don't know something. And don't you try order me around just because Papa chose you today. I see someone is still sure about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. It sounds so real to see the knife up close. So you have the knife, the gun, and an envelope. And what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. Completely forget to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside the evidence bag office. Detective Beth requested it to be passed along to you. He said it will help the investigation. Detective Beth said that? What a strange stroke of luck. Well, never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it though. I won't rest until... Okay, correct. Maybe there's something that he wrote just now. Mr. Faraday's organizer, it appears he was in the habit of using it. This looked like he wrote his strategy of getting Mr. L convicted, don't you? To prove that Rel was the killer between the handgun and Rel had first and the surveillance that should able to prove he was there. It appears that Mr. Faraday honestly believed that Mr. Rel was the killer in this case. Going off was recorded super clarity and the surveillance will also have evidence that existed Mr. Rel is not. And it will also appear that he had proved that Mr. Rel was not the Yatagarasu. You will try to play it as long as I prove the Yatagarasu key. I can postpone it. If it's I present it to him, God, it should clear everything up. Hey, I didn't read that, sir. And apparently he also had a very definitive piece of evidence. It's been a long battle. I hope that this will finally bring it to an end. Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was well prepared to discredit any claim Mr. L may have made about being the real Yatagarasu. And he had a way to prove that Mr. L was the guilty party in the embassy murder. This organizer is a close threat from Mr. Faraday. I'll have to take my time and give it a thorough later. Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here. It appears to be a key, and a rather ornate one at that. Just look at the design on the handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the Yatagarasu's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? The Yatagarasu's key? Detective Beth said something earlier. What's different about this time was that evidence related to the smuggling ring was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Cordopian embassy, the Yatagarasu. The Yatagarasu sent the evidence? Until now, the Yatagarasu would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence at this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep this secret piece safe, as the prosecutor ran both the ethic errors and smuggling ring cases. That's to be expected. I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even afforded the opportunity to skim it. I suppose I'll explain it to you then. Yes, you should, perfectly, in its entirety, if you please. On the night of the September 8, an embassy staff member was killed in front of the embassy. The staff member died of shock due being shot in the heart. Mackerel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned because the murder weapon was found, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man, that's what he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't the only incriminating evidence we had. Mr. L was caught in the act of film by a security camera. He was an even bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he did not notice the security camera. The Cordopian embassy security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yes, the surveillance video of the security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. L on it. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. Okay, what about the gun? Oh. This gun, it was originally used to kill Cordopian embassy staff member. When the crime was reported, the responding police found Mr. L still holding it, which led to this immediate arrest. And then, this gun took the original shooter's land. Horror. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything to learn from this piece of evidence. Okay. How about the knife? It's the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that such beautiful piece of art? Huh. Is it? Oh, it's the same. It's the Yatagarasu knife. Could be used for such a cruel act, and it's never crossed your mind that you're riding corrupt for the wrong purpose? That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about the knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the Cordopian embassy staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious it was brought into the courthouse by Mr. L? That's the only logical conclusion, right? No, because it's not that easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse door is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this inside. In that case, how do you suppose this knife ended up inside the courthouse? I need to think carefully here. There is nothing related to the knife written anywhere in Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it is fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Conversely, there is one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to have seen today. So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Well, Sachor, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me? Okay, this. To mean that you don't have answer for me? Master Chow, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me? To mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francisca. What? Then what is it? One of the pieces of evidence we've been holding has been hiding a secret of its own. And it was through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. Through this piece of evidence that the knife was brought into the courthouse. The journal or the key?
Take that!
I don't see how that answers my question at all. Every piece of evidence has some secretive aspect about it. Oh, then I demand to know what the secret is to this one. Alright, maybe there's a secret to this one. I need to think carefully here. This knife came from Mr. Faraday, and one crime had seen today.
Take that!
This Yatagarazu's key, Mr. Faraday mentioned in its organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Ma'am Sechuo. You just need to take a look a bit closer, Francisca. See what I mean? Don't the color and ornamentation of the key's handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both of the Yatagarazu's key in this photo and the murderer's knife have this very unique design on the handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentions the Yatagarazu's key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say? It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same. But that's impossible. Even if that is what you want to believe, we should still investigate this possibility. Now then, let us examine this knife in a little more detail. Let's go. Ooh, I can't believe it turned into a key to think there was such a trick into this thing. So the weapon was used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key at the Yatagarasu store. This piece of information is more critical than anything we learned up until now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned as the key aspect of this piece of evidence in his organizer. It's possible that even he had no idea that the key was hiding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, then only someone who knew about the key to the knife tree could have killed Mr. Faraday. Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We are looking for someone who knew even more about the key than even Mr. Faraday, meaning that the only person it could be is the one who sent the key in the first place, the creative Yatagarasu. Then maybe Mr. L was the Yatagarasu, and he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really, especially since Mr. Faraday was absolutely convinced that Mr. L was not the Yatagarasu. Besides, as a detective Beth said earlier, but when we questioned Rel about what was sent along with the white car, Rel had no idea what it was. I see, alright then. I guess the person who known the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yatagarasu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. That's odd. We're short one piece of evidence, and the piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in the car. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? The video showing the moment in which Mr. L committed the murder. Where could it have gone indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm finished. However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, were you thoroughly in your duties? What? No, I dare not leak my duties. What do you take me for? No, Your Honor, the most important piece of evidence in today's trial. The surveillance video is not amongst evidence you laid out from. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole back with me, from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere at the crime scene? Oh, the TV. There's something wrong here. Something's about this missing piece of evidence. It will appear that for me to find the answers I seek, I'll have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime defendant lobby number 2. Let's go. Hello, Lang. Defendant lobby number 2. The cool detective and the cool police. That's Detective Beth. But who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. So, did you find it? No, not yet. And I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. My boy. So you're the one running this show. prosecutors like you shouldn't even be allowed at crime scenes. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? Damn. I like that guy. What was that all about? And who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Does he even know that we're standing right here behind him? I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? It looks like you are paying attention after all. Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. So that mirror isn't for vanity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bat, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Zengpa to study his agent Lang. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of detainment from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, he has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guy's more useful than Gumshoe, even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree, however, I can think of one young lady that man also plays too. Anyway, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bat? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that. It has nothing to do with you. Fine, if this is the game I must play, then I'll take this opportunity to draw out what has been hiding and what happened to this room straight from. Let's go, check the TV. That is one tiny TV. Detective Gumshoe was rather shocked at this, and said it's huge compared to his own. Anything compared with something he owns will always seem grandiose. Speaking of grandiose, I said that e-gangsters could use a little deflating. Okay, I guess we need to search in the lobby number 2. Time to search the TV. This television is the same model as the one in defendant lobby number 2. Looks like the two rooms are basically the same in terms of light and supplies. Yes, the two rooms are basically the same, huh? Oh no. Okay, I guess we just need to show him the Yatagarsuki. Earlier you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bat. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see, in that case you wouldn't mind if I ask about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy, you'll see, I will derive my answer from you, one way or another. Will it kill you to help us even tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. Detective Bat, did you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagarsu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yatagarsu key are one and the same? What? That's impossible. It looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagarsu key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagarsu key to prove that Mr. L was not the real Yatagarsu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was in fact a knife. Yes, I have to admit, neither of one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key was what you were searching for? Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? Detective Bat, so that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright, but it doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened, nothing will change. Okay, let's start now. Detective Bat, I ask that you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine because I only need one last time to clear everything up and find the truth behind this case. Alright, the first is Detective Bat. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and then we ran into the lobby number 2. It sounds like the exact same story he told us before. Indeed, however, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information that we can. That means we have to press. I want to know what he was talking with you.
Hold it!
Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1? Answer me. Who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walk into lobby number 1 together. That's all. So his answer remains the same as before, I see.
Hold it!
I was hoping you could explain on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff, it was nothing important. That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. I heard that gunshot right before the trial was about to reconvene.
Hold it!
Until you heard the gunshot, did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. If the gunshot Detective Bat heard was really the one from the murder, it will give that other piece of evidence entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. Until that gunshot. Let's proceed first. Detective Bat, you honestly don't remember hearing anything else? Yeah. Is it possible you were so involved in your conversation that you missed something? I've been a detective for a long time, and even if I were involved in something, I get quite the habit of keeping tabs on everything that goes on around me. If there had been some other strange sound, you can be sure I heard it. I suppose with this detective, it's probably very likely. So the gunshot.
Hold it!
And why did the two of you dash out in the hallway straight away? Because we clearly heard the sound of a gunshot, and we knew it came from somewhere nearby. And how did you know that it was gunshot? In my line of work, you hear enough of them to know. I suppose it's only natural for a detective to know what a real gunshot sounds like. But given the circumstances, the only person I could think of whose life could have been in danger was Faraday. That's why I ran out into the hallway right away and headed for where he was.
Hold it!
I want to hear what Gamshi did. Detective Gamshi was there in the hallway? Yeah. Why didn't you attest to that earlier? When I saw Gamshi, it was after I had heard the gunshot. Having seen him then, didn't chance the fact that he still could have done the deed. It sounds exactly like what the detective told us before, however. Is there something in particular we should be asking detective about? There just might be. No one knew that the knife is actually the Yatagara's key. Reflecting on that, perhaps there are other things that we know now, but Detective Bat doesn't yet. Yes, that should be my angle of attack.
Objection!
Oh, yeah, that's right. Detective Bat, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon up for her. Well, as you may have already summarized, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what's about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway, right? In front of lobby number 2? Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, so the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, his honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that his honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bat. And if you were in lobby number 1 at the time, you're close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? What? Don't give me a so. You just proved that there is a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivety cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rough? That's because they were designed to keep secret from being leaked. What is that supposed to mean? The door and walls are super thick, and the window panes are double layered. Top it all off, even the curtains are made of special sun-absorbing material. Then you mean? Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No. Ugh. I knew that's what he was going to say. Then that means that Scruff-based testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any sign of struggle. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now, do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaw in this logic, not the other way around. The other way around? It's not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine this situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet Detective Gamsu claims to have heard while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bat, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean how? I just did. It will appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are as soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murder than I had thought. Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how Detective Beth and Gumshoe heard the gunshot they theoretically couldn't have. This will take we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? The state of the crime scene? Wait, can it be? It's that ultra strong perfume you were. She spilled some of it. What? And way too nosy. The surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Parallel television and missing evidence. Please. Oh no. Dan fit together by track. Guess. It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows, and yet the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from defendant lobby number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. What he heard was the sound of television. Now then, what else besides smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound. So no matter how careful the killer was, if the windows were open, the jig would be up. And since the window in both defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of gunshot could be heard in both locations. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment in which Mr. Rell killed the embassy staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me. It's the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what are you thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking, and let's start looking again. It's not a waste of time to think, for I have figured out where we should go. And where will that be? I believe we should examine the television. The TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Nook and cranny. Let's go. It's a video player, and there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached this tape. Could not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but Detective Beth will be alright with you if I verify the contents of this video. Sure, knock yourself out. Alright then, let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rell killing the embassy staff member should be at about the 30 minutes mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now then, let's see. Ah, this is the footage of Mr. Rell shooting the embassy staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video was here all along. This sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that Detective Beth has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the track behind this double murder. Do you mean that you figure it all out then? Yes, all I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detective Beth and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Fine, in that case, show me what you've deduced. show what the gunshot Detective Beth and Gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Just as with the spill from lobby number 1, if the windows were open, that piece of evidence sound would also be speeded out. Now to show what the gunshot that heard was, and through where they heard it from. Please be right. If the door and windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used the gun, and no one would have been wiser. That's true, this courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was, Detective Gumshoe, Detective Beth, and Monsieur, all three of them heard the gunshot, while the windows in lobby number 1 and number 2 and the hallway were open, so naturally, the people in those locations could hear it. But then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct, that's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Farewell. I believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. Perception of when the crime took place. The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes, and they used the gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. So, that's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means that the murders really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty, someone who has no alibi from that time period and planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer. Oh, not full. Mr. Cho. Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for it. She's in the courtroom. She said that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It will appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Wow! Hey man, I'm actually continuing right away because I'm so excited. I can't wait tomorrow. So let's do this. Okay, what are you doing here? Oh, hello mister. I'm still investigating, but the object you're looking for has already... Okay, don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Detective Beth, haven't we already found what you were looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little test will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. Oh man. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to the rest. The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest? Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more than solved this case already, don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see. We even have a viewer in the gallery, and why even Mr. Beth is here? A viewer in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end, no matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statement on every single person's movement during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion in this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there is always a time for rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? How absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is. Oh man. Misuse argument. Everyone sends the suspect as an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirm that there is no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. But of course, there's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on trying out any trump card she has up her sleeve. I guess that means we're pressing. Let's see that we can press right. What about this? The suspect, but I thought Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you, this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughters eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct, but see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there is no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snaking. I see, she's done her research well, which means that I should focus on trying out whatever trump she's withholding.
Hold it!
Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. These scrunched eyebrows and lines on your forehead are bad. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene lobby number 2 has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and ran into the garden? That's the first place everyone looks, silly. The police are a bunch of lazy punks. They look into every possibility, you know? Isn't that right, Mr. Bat? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive there are no possible routes of escape? Of course, I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just a common sense. Malsetzer, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Yeah. I guess this one?
Hold it!
You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's head? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've already reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of a person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francesca or myself speaking with you about the subject. But there were witnesses for you. There is your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess. and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else. Wait, so basically the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, monsieur, what about everyone's alibi before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went to lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Wett and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1. The only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Fred heard the gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when. Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edward. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated?
Take that!
That tape? Oh, she's panicking. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. That is the surveillance tape of Mr. L, the prosecutor, presented into this trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that its volume turned all the way up. You can honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video. But which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and let the video to play. If played from the beginning, it will take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we know now that this method of time manipulation is possible, it's opened up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Sound from the television doesn't amount much here, but of course Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we know, didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course we know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse room. That's right, and if the rooms are soundproof then we should not have been able to hear it, and yet we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it. And I'm sorry. But it's not. How shall I explain why she was able to hear a gunshot from a soundproof room? There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2, and it is despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was open in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also open. It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the time. It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. The answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be open, and the person who triggered detection, that person is the real guilty party. Double murder is you.
Take that!
Miss Callisto, you. I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Red. You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious, because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, monsieur, do you still feel like laughing now? Of course I do, I assure. My argument must not be tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know, I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal, right? You argue that the window was open. However, they have proof it was I who did that. Furthermore, they have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime. Frankly, I'm shocked that you are going around accusing people of murder like this, especially with logic as full as hole as you. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my girl down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now is the time to put patent phone karma perfect proof to the test. Wait. We already have a proof. First I want to save. Just to be safe.
Objection!
I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Monsieur? Edward, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I recommended for boys, you know. But this isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Beth, you see. Monsieur, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much is for sure. That you are the one who gave this bottle of a perfume to Detective Beth. And that's your super easy to unlock. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling up some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Beth. Oh, I know. Oh, you also know that if you spill it, he will not move to open the window.
Objection!
Come now, I've already told you that's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
Objection!
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is, when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, Monsieur, you were the one who called Detective Beth into lobby number 1, when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway. Is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could only have been thought up by you, Monsieur. You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled up a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Haha. Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game, of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap this absurd case once and for all. Accusing someone of murder over a spilled bottle of perfume is a bit over the top, but I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. Oh my god. I need to press that. In any case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless. Yes, but no matter what sort of tricks she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if I'm lacking information, I'll just draw it out of her.
Hold it!
I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor. Yes, or will sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although, your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you say such a thing? Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Grr. Oh, why did you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue?
Hold it!
And why exactly could you not have killed him? I was just about to testify to that. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Edward. Your preference has no bearing on what is it you're at hand. Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we? Girl.
Objection!
Monsieur, you will desist in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy. Sorry. Monsieur, please continue with your testimony. Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday.
Hold it!
At this rate, she'll inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, monsieur. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles, what do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial today. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yatagarasu had sent. And unless the key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Did you really think you could correct me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might explain what you just said to your testimony. Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you like. Bismillah.
Objection!
Monsieur, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it in fact has a secret ability to transform into a knife, which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You know that key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagarasu's key. Oh man. I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know. You would even now still feign ignorance? Ahaha, I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accusing me of crime with false evidence now, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma. I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look at this piece of evidence, it's more than real. Wow, you knew there was such a trick to this thing. Are you satisfied now? But of course, you know that from the very beginning, didn't you? You know that the knife and the Yatagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who is a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. L up, he told me. Oh, that's right. I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transformed. What are you saying is simply not possible. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentioned nothing about the knife. I'm not sure he will have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of this importance be better left up to oral communication? Unfortunately, that is also impossible, because Detective Beth didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse. How can you laugh at a time like this? She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Pam 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 da da. Monsieur, I like to state that I also know how you know the real nature of the knife. Do you know? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will, and I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. It's the moment of truth, the secret behind the Yatagarasu key. Only one person would have had the knowledge of it, from the get-go. Who would know from the start the Yatagarasu key could change into a knife? Yatagarasu. So, you're gonna accuse her for being the Yatagarasu?
Take that!
There's only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key. and that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself. Are you saying that this lawyer is the creative Yatagarasu? Monsieur, you used Miss Rel to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals, why? Why do something like this? Oh my god, I can't. I can't laugh right now. Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill, it's even greater than when I sneak into some place. You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me, Callista Yu. Callista Yu? Huh, that's not my real name. Because my real identity is yes, the creative Yatagarasu. I'm more confused right now than ever. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to wrest him from the world of law. I might roll an offer an acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was jerked off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped them on through a crack into the door. That Rel gives to only two things, money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way that they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. But didn't you say that you despise criminals? But do I really? Oh my god. You... Have you forgotten about the KJ incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would... So then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the fair evidence that you sent? Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With a weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in the right mind thinks something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the next pretext that I had to talk with Mr. Faraday. In order to get in with him, I pretend to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu key just like that. I never noticed that I had changed the key into knife inside that plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. But if you kill Mr. Faraday first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led the killer to think about something about setting them up as though they kill each other. Then the trick with the surveillance tech. Yes, I didn't actually plan to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remember the existence of surveillance tech, which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I rewarded him for all his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you? How could you betray a client? Client? If you want to talk about who was a client of whose first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Cordopian embassy staff member, that man. You ordered a hijab? You still haven't figured out, Mr. Bat. I had that man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? It can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. How could you do this? You don't mean you're working with Manny Cochin too, do you? Maybe not. Guess you'll never know. The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Be quiet, you. Yatagarasu, you can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey, HR. Did you know the Yatagarasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. Because there are 3 people, I think. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than 1 razor-sharp way to do her work. Oh, shoot. You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. You mean the key was your real target? Huh, and never after I gave you such a great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence. You two, get down. Oh no. My body. I can't move. Hey, mister, to your right. You. Are you alright, Francisca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a gunshot. Oh no. Bad. Oh, he's alright. Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. They should have perimeter set up soon. Detective Beth, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. You may say he's fun, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you too hurt? I'm absolutely fine. I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir. Detective Beth, sir. I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you are protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. I don't know about that. No, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, but yeah, you have that spirit. You got it, Pops. Pops? Watch too many detective dramas recently, have we? Try to single-handedly destroy the cheer atmosphere with the one snarky comment. I shall get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Pet, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best. You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't have anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give it all that you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. She did? Oh, what is it? What was it that Kay left for me? The proof of their friendship? Oh. No. Yellow.
Take that!
It's a courthouse special Swiss roll. Can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant to you for you after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. The Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bought together. While the one case have never reached her father, it will appear that her sentiments have touched the hearts of this detective. He's so happy. It's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, was asked by Kay to give it to him. Whoop, that was good, pal. I can't believe I get to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I've gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait, where is she? You only noticed just now? Was his mind not precious when we discussed her earlier? Detective Pet let go a search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first, you know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude to you about anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what has happened to Papa. Agree. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. And don't you worry, I'll investigate the next case. We're on real well. I'll be counting on you. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... So, do you remember now? Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while. Kay, you sure grew up a lot. Of course, but thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time? Hehe, Gummy, I know you care. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relative. They live really far away, so I wasn't able to come back here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So does it all make sense now? You betcha it does. Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelf recently
Hold
and
it!
actually there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? The Yatagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father. Huh? Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu. Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. It was written in his diary, and that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible. What would that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how do you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing. Yep, that's little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow, Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor. He was really a great thief, huh? Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yatagarasu was no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you? Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article. The Yatagarasu sent the embassy a calling card. Yeah, meaning these persons are fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this, because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like gaudy card. But Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Beth told me 7 years ago, if memory serves. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out so that I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying that I have your father's and Mr. Yu's identities backward? Yes, because the Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, my father will never be able to rest in peace. Kay. Kay, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you're honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you're plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth. You guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth. What I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman. That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you are able to expose her for who she is, then maybe. Please, Mr. Richard, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you. Huh? Owe me for what? When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude to leave you favors unrepaid. Then, you mean? Yes. That case has been weighed down my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. If you don't intend to soil your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you. Mr. Richard, thank you. Yay, Mr. Richard, sir! Isn't that great, kid? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy. Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is it with your chummy relationship? The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Brian Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity of the great thief Yatagarasu. And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It will all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. Wow. Damn. Wow. There's nothing I can discuss right now, really. It was just amazing. I'm just gonna go along for the ride. Yeah, man. Anyway, I'm gonna end it here. See you again soon. Have a nice day.